today. On Chocolate today.
Compare national, state level, you have to run non-sale, it's wholesale.
Is 9,000.
The only mistake I made, I didn't put it in the registration booth.
Just this ever-evolving story.
Well, hello, friends. Happy Monday night, June 16th. Is that echo for me talking to Rob?
Yes.
Is it? He can. Hey, Rob, if he turns his volume off, please. Yeah, Rob, go ahead and mute your computer on your end, and you'll just hear me through my phone, if you don't mind. That way we don't get that echo. Sorry, guys, we're having a little bit of sound issue with Rob Foster. He can drive the wheels off of four-wheel drive, but him and his computer are not best friends, he said. So it's all good.
What did you tell me to do?
Can you just mute your computer? Mute your sound. That way you'll just hear me through the phone.
How's that?
Perfect. All right, everybody. Welcome to Let's Grow Pulling. Got some of our $50,000 winners on here tonight. Dean Hollicky, are you in a tornado watch still? Are you safe? Doesn't look like the internet is very good at Dean's house right now. He had texted us and said he was coming. So, well, we're happy to have Eric Stacy on, our super stock diesel champion, first ever $50,000 winner at Farley. Jared Nelson, obviously our super modified two-wheel drive winner. Rob Foster, Simply Red, super modified four-wheel drive truck. I always say that wrong. Dean Hollick is our 4.1 limited pro stock winner. Ezen Lemke is supposed to be joining us. And then Abby Leichner was not able to make it on here with us tonight. So, guys, I'm just going to go around the room. Eric, I want to know who you are. For people maybe that just crawled out from underneath a rock, each one of you, tell us who you are. Tell us about your family a little bit, how you've been pulling. And then we'll just kind of go around the room, and we're going to ask a lot of questions. For those of you watching tonight, let us know your thoughts. Let us know your comments. These are some of your favorite pullers in the world. Ask them some questions. So go ahead, Eric. You go first, bud.
Eric Stacy, Winchester, Ohio. Been pulling in the diesel truck thing since the year 2000, so going on my 25th year. Been there kind of from the start with, Kent Crowder and Van Hazley were the three old guys in the class that's kind of helped propel it from brush pulling all the way to the national level. Newly married in 2022. Just welcomed my first child last week, and then I got shipped off to Farley this past week to try to run for the 50,000. Thankful for my wife to let me go do that. We own a flooring business and run that locally, which allows me the time to go do what I love and travel the country. And besides that, it's pretty much all pulling.
I love it. So I see your $50,000 check behind you next to your other checks. I'm going to tell RJ that the $50,000 check has to be bigger. So then all the other, don't you think? Should be. Well, they were picking on Dan Mayer during our countdown to pull time, guys. RJ and Miles understood the joke, but they're like, you got to take a big check to a big bank. And Dan was all, oh, yeah, when I used to race, I used to do that. And then it took him a little bit, and then he finally got it. So we had some fun with that. No, Eric, congratulations. Was Lily home watching with your daughter?
Absolutely. She wouldn't miss it. So
yeah,
she was pacing around the kitchen and the island and every all over the house, they said. So I'm sure she was nervous, and everybody else that was here watching, and I can understand.
No, completely. Again, we'll come back to you in a little bit. Jared Nelson, give us your life story, and then just do. You know what to do. Go ahead. We made Eric go first.
So Jared Nelson, Altamont, Illinois, born and raised here. Been pulling, I think, going on 29 years. So been around a while, longer than I feel like. But we have two girls and an older son. My son's 24. Grace is up at ISU. She's 19. She plays basketball up at Illinois State. And then my youngest is going to be a junior in high school here at Altamont. So they keep us busy. They actually neither were at the pull this weekend, but they was keeping in tuned and keeping up with everything and seeing how things were going. We're pretty excited for us. So it was a pretty good time for them as well, even though they wasn't with us. But we run a local trucking company back here, haul a lot of ag commodities. So right now for us, the UAN liquid and fertilizer, all that's bumping. So that was what we missed out last week, trying to orchestrate keeping guys rolling and worrying about pulling all at the same time. So it was a little hectic when we got back home yesterday, but all settled back in and just glad to be on the show tonight.
Perfect. No, it's great to be on the show tonight because you won $50,000. So
exactly that too.
So you were the only one that got a shower. Was that beer? Was that water? Was it Gatorade, Jared?
That was actually water. That's something our teams kind of started. I don't remember when we started. A couple years ago. It started out as water bottles.
Okay.
Mind you, it graduated the last year. So 2 years ago when Bethany won the points and Jeremy won the pull at Hillsboro, it was a bucket between the two of them. So yeah, I guess I should have seen it coming, but I kind of forgot about the water bath tradition. So, but it was definitely well worth it that night.
Yeah, no, awesome. Again, congratulations. It was fun. It was fun to watch you pull that off. So
thank you.
Let's go to Rob Foster next. Simply Red. Thursday night, one is he?
Yep.
And then I think Logan said, Rob, you're the only one that came from Thursday night that made it in, that you're the only Thursday night qualifier that won it, if you know what I'm saying. So it's pretty interesting there. Well, tell us about Rob Foster. Tell us about a little bit of everything.
Yeah, I'm Rob Foster from Michigan, farmer here, and have a wife, Tanya, and she used to drive. And, of course, everybody knows Carmen. She drove for several years, and I have a son, Tyler. He races snowmobiles in the winter, and he will not drive the truck, but he actually came out there for Saturday night. So that was pretty exciting.
No, I always see you guys. Is it Eagle River that you guys always go up to, Rob?
Yep.
Yes, I always see your Facebook posts and stuff like that. So why doesn't he want to drive the truck?
Well, he has told other people that he doesn't want to break it. So I don't know. He doesn't have that opinion about the snowmobile, so I'm not sure.
Fair enough. Hey, one thing I want to ask you before I forgot was you mentioned multiple times in your interviews, my dad got me going on this, and he always said we just run around the country pulling for nothing. Can you elaborate on that story for those people watching tonight?
Well, I think that's a true statement. He
It
started
is.
in the
It is a
in
true
the
statement.
70s, and I think it was around 83 when he sold the tractor. And then I started with a 4440 in 1986, and yeah, he just I think was a little reluctant to get me started, and because we spend a lot of money and didn't get much in return, and so we started with a pickup in 1990. We thought it'd be cheaper than a tractor, and for a while probably was. Yeah, I'm sure it still is. You get 3-4 engines on there, kind of expensive, but it really got out of hand in a hurry, and so I think that's a true statement.
It's a very true statement. Thank you for saying that. It's important to get that out there. Dean Hollicky, can you hear us, sir? He's in a tornado warning in Minnesota. Dean, can you hear us? Dean, hello? Dean Hollicky.
Yeah, I can now.
Okay, good. So with that 50
Hello?
grand,
You there?
maybe you can get like a Starlink or something, Dean. Get some better internet there, bud. Okay.
How about now?
Yeah, we can hear you. Yep. So go ahead,
You can
Dean.
hear me
Tell
now?
us, yeah. Tell us about your pulling team. Tell us about your family. Tell us, like, we all know that you've been in a super farm and a semi truck, now a limited pro. Give us your history, Dean.
Yeah, I actually started pulling stock semi about 1998, and then a guy by the name of Bob Tuma come over, just lived down the road, got me in a super stock 4-wheel drive. And like 2002 range, I ran that for like the smoke, ended up with a hot farm. Bought a motor from Robbie Lemke and pulled 466 for a couple of years. Then switched to a super farm, ran that. Decided to buy a semi because I'm close with our business, ran that for 7 years. Decided we were going to buy a lake home, sold the semi, but decided we don't really have any friends other than tractor pullers, so back with limited pro.
All right. Thank you, Dean, for that. Dean's internet's a little in and out a little bit. He's in the middle of a storm warning. So Esden Lemke coming up next.
Hey
Esden, how
guys,
are you,
can you
sir?
hear me all right?
Yeah.
There I am.
Yep.
I'm doing
So
good.
we're
I'm
asking-
doing real good.
We're asking, you should be really good. You should still be like in the happiest you've ever been besides being married. So.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Try
This is a
to
great
tell us
weekend.
about
This is an awesome weekend.
Yeah. Tell us about your pulling history, how you got started. Tell us about your family. Just kind of the who, what, when, where, whys.
Yeah. I've been pulling since 2019. That was the first time I drove was actually Mount Sterling, Illinois, I think. And we've been pulling since the 80s with my grandpa. We went to pro stock, I want to say late 90s, and we started doing Grand National points in 2001.
And it's cool to see your
We
grandpa
did,
out there with you. Oh, sorry, is that
Oh yeah. He loves this sport so much.
good stuff? Good stuff. All right, let's go bring everybody back up here, Kens. So I want to go around. When did RJ kind of make this announcement? And anybody can answer this. Does everybody remember when this kind of was launched? Was it after Louisville? Do you, Jared or Eric? Do you remember, or Rob?
I heard about it at the Enderley pull-off.
At the Enderley pull-off, Rob said.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
And Rob? What was your initial?
We was the
thought?
last.
Well, first of all, I didn't think it could ever happen. Because we went around the country for nothing, and then when the application or the invite come out, I was like, I guess this is real. And then we were still a little reluctant, and RJ called me out on that the other night, and he's right. And I just still couldn't believe. I still can't believe it that we had the chance even to pull for $50,000.
Yep.
So hats off to him and his family and his vision, and it's excellent.
Yep. Eric, one of the super stock diesel trucks were not in the initial thought, right? Because there probably wasn't 50 of them, or what's the backstory on your class getting into this event, the super stock diesel trucks?
Well, I actually wasn't involved in it. It was our stuff kind of transpired at the NTPA banquet. Chris Kuslik, Craig Dickey, Don Gillette, Jeremy Yeager, they were all attending. And I think they kind of started having a conversation with RJ, and I don't know how it got brought up or what, but next thing you know, they were texting me and asking if they, what my feelings were on it. And we thought we could get 20, which would, our interest.
Eric's breaking up a little bit, right?
A little bit.
Okay. So what people, and Eric's breaking up just a little bit, what people don't realize is the super stock diesel trucks had a $5,000 buy-in and all the other classes had a $2,500 buy-in. The reason the diesel trucks did the $5,000 buy-in, there was less of them. I think the original goal, if Eric can hear me, was to have 25, right, Eric? Does that make the math work for everything? Yeah, it would. It would be half of the 50 at the 2,500, right?
Yeah.
So, Eric, are you back? Or are you still fuzzy?
Yeah, I can see you guys. Is it on my end here?
Yeah, no, it wasn't fuzzy. You just broke up a little bit. So, Dean, I know the first two classes to fill up were the pro stock tractors and the four. What's that, Eric? There's a little bit of a delay.
No, we're good.
Okay, cool. Dean, I know the first two classes there, and Esden, you can jump on this too. The first two classes to fill up, I remember correctly, were the pro stock tractors and the 4.1 limited pros. Am I accurate in that, Esden or Dean? Do you remember that specifically?
I want to say that sounds right. Yep.
Okay.
Yes,
Dean?
correct. I think they were sold out in about 2 days.
Okay. The pro stock doesn't
It's
surprise
pretty
me.
fast in the pro stock class.
What's that, Esden?
I know with pro stock class is pretty fast. It was just a couple days that they had everybody filled out.
Dean, it doesn't surprise me in the pro stocks, but the 4.1s did. Why do you think the 4.1 guys were so excited to jump on something like this?
Well, I think what people don't realize is there's probably 200 of them things around the country between all the organizations, and I mean they got a chance at a really big stage.
Right. 100%.
Walk us through a little bit with, the class filled up in 2 days. When the announcement was made, did you jump on it or did you spend a day deliberating? Was it right off the bat or what did it take?
We didn't waste no time, and my phone was blowing up. People were excited and had questions. I said, sign up. I said, they'll treat you right and it's going to work.
Jared, were you on board right away, Nelson, or did you guys think about it a little bit? I felt like I think the two-wheel drives and the mini rods filled up last, if I remember correctly. Correct me if I'm wrong, but just kind of watching some of the lineups.
Yeah, so I talked to RJ periodically. So when he first told me, I was all in. I think when he first posted about it or posted the entries, we was on the way to a ball game or something, and I filling ours out in the car because I was worried. We see how many trucks go to Bowling Green. I'm like, shit, ours is going to fill up fast, So I made sure we got our spots. The Mini, we did not. Honestly, we was probably one of the last in the Mini because at the time we just didn't feel like it was competitive enough yet. Once we realized we could throw Tanner in the seat, that kind of was a game changer for us. So then we got on board with all of them.
Nice. Rob, you said you were a little reluctant in the beginning. Did you just not believe it, or tell us what your thoughts were?
I guess that's it. I didn't believe it. I didn't think it would ever happen, and then finally we just decided that this is the opportunity that maybe we've been looking for all along. Finally, we better sign up. But our class did not fill up. I think there was 42, 43.
Okay.
And then there was some that even dropped out or couldn't make it. I guess I shouldn't say dropped out, but couldn't make it. So ours didn't fill up.
Yeah, I think RG had said like 44 was kind of the break even on it. I think to pay back to the certain spot, right, Rob?
I think that's correct.
Yeah, because I know he talked about doing some different things with some of the extra money for fuel money and stuff like that. Eric, going into Farley, you said when I interviewed you on the track, or either Charles or somebody did, the last time you pulled there was in 2021 with PPL. Is that right?
Yeah, I believe so. 20 or 2021. I remember it was right around COVID. It was crazy because the track was so much different back then. I remember, and my gosh, whatever they did since the 4 or 5 years we've been there, it was really a game changer. That thing didn't change from start to finish on our side, and it didn't matter if you were an early hook, late hook. It just didn't matter. props to everybody involved in that. I mean, it was a perfect track for our class for sure. So I wish we could run on something like that every weekend.
Yeah, well, I think, now that the bar has been set for something like this, I think that's going to be more of an expectation for the pullers, working with the promoters on it.
Sure.
As in, was the track different from Friday to Saturday night for the pro stock class?
I think it was pretty much the same Friday to Saturday. I think it was a little tougher on Thursday. There's a lot of tractors that we had a couple tractors that they ran just too heavy gear and they snuffed out. But I think there was an advantage for us pulling on Friday compared to pulling on Thursday. It was almost pretty much spot on from Friday to Saturday, I thought.
Perfect. Rob, you were you're one of the ones on the show that did pull on Thursday night. How much of it did you have to make changes between Thursday and Saturday, or kind of the same thing? Or we can talk about it now because we're after the event.
The track on Thursday actually scared me, and I was afraid it wasn't going to tote that gear. But I thought, you know what? On the first hook, we're going to try it, and it choked it, but it felt so good and so smooth. I had to take it, even though it choked it. And as you can see, it's a good thing I did. But so for us, it was better on Thursday night.
Yeah, no, that's a good deal.
That's not to say Saturday night was bad, by any means. That was a good track all weekend, I thought.
Yeah, no, that seems to be a consistent thing, and that's one thing pullers will say a lot. And I like how everybody's being honest about it. Like, this was one of the best tracks, and I'm hoping other promoters see this and go, "Wow, this is something we need to do for the pullers as well." Jared, for a two-wheel drive track, was it money just like it was for the pros and the supers, or did you want a little wetter or a little drier, or what were you thinking?
So it actually was a little different from Thursday to Friday because with Bethany's truck Thursday, like when we got out there and I first walked out there, I'm like, holy shit, this thing's going to be killer for us. Like that just had that first poke went in and I'm like, I got excited. I'm like, this is what we want, But for hers, like obviously, like if any of you remember, like she couldn't get hers off the line at first. It would not break the tires loose. So we had to actually shift down a gear for Thursday. But then for Friday and Saturday, we was able to go back to what I wanted to try Thursday. So Friday was a little wetter, a little softer for us. But then Saturday, I call it, was kind of a combination between the two. It was a little in the middle, which made it really good. And like everybody agreed, I mean, it didn't matter if you was first, second, last. It didn't change, and that doesn't happen very often. So, I mean, it was by far hats off to them. They build a hell. Jim Miller can build a track, but that was one of the most consistent tracks we've ever been on.
Yeah, that's the one thing that I like the most is the consistency from, a class of 25 like that, pulling for such big money or the stakes to even get the Saturday night, to have it be fair. Dean and Rob, I do want to ask you this because you guys both pulled first class. Dean, do you think the 4-1s, like I feel like Thursday night, I felt like later hooks were better on Thursday night. Friday, we were so busy with the live stream, I don't remember. And then Saturday night, you kind of came up there towards the end, but honestly, the way you were running, I think you could have pulled any time. Take us through the week, Dean, and what were the guys saying about hook position in your class?
Well, I think, first Thursday and Friday for us being first class, we had cloud cover, smoke cover, whatever you want to call it. And so it didn't really, the track stayed pretty consistent. I think your first, second hook, that some of the guys towards the end got up in there. But Saturday, the sun was so hot when our class started. And, I think I was about in a perfect spot. There's a little spot in that 8th, 9th, 10th, 11th, 12th area. And then it got a little drier as our class went. That sun was hot.
Yep. Now, I noticed your hook Saturday night. You got off to the right a little bit. Then you hit that left. Did you hit the left brake or did it come back on its own for you?
No, I tapped it. I wanted to stay kind of – I felt there's some moisture where I was, and I needed to stay. And it looked like it was going to dart to the chalk line pretty fast. And if you watch the video, it was kind of angling the wrong direction. So I stabbed the brake a little bit, maybe more aggressive than I wanted.
Well, it made me nervous for you as a puller. Saw that, because we don't want to lose that momentum, but then you were able to lug it out on the big end. So that made me happy there for you. Again, if you're just joining us, we have 5 of the 6 winners of the $50,000 from Farley last Saturday night. We got Esden Lemke, Jared Nelson, Rob Foster, Eric Stacy, and Dean Hollicky. Abby Leichner was not able to be with us tonight. If you have any questions, please type them in the comments. We'll throw them up there on the screen. Eric, set up from Friday night to Saturday night from you. Did you do much different? Were the tracks consistent? Did you kind of run right? You ran left to center, didn't you, to win that thing, or did you run right to center? I forget. I'm sorry.
I feel like Friday night we kind of finished more in the middle at the end. Saturday night we kind of started right of center and then kind of veered off to the right corner over there. There was just a slight taper over there, and I thought maybe if I could get enough head of steam, I could crest over it a little bit, and that's kind of what happened. I felt it kind of tip over at the end a little bit, and it really drug, good at the far end. My hiccup I had was kind of, I wouldn't say I cross-tracked it, but I kind of come over a few ruts there, kind of maybe about 100 foot, and the back of the truck kind of unsettled just a touch for just a second, and then it come out of it. I didn't even feel it in the truck, but I could see it in the video. But then, it was smooth sailing. I mean, they had the sled set perfect, and it was game on.
Well, let's play your video, Eric, and then we can talk about it again. So that was a smooth pass there, completely. Did you wait longer to get into, or were you in it earlier than you are? Like I saw some tracks, I don't hear you guys open that thing up till 220 feet.
Yeah, it took it. I mean, that was all it had for that tune-up. I mean, it didn't try to get away from me at all, and I don't want to say which way we went, but let's just say it's not the same gear that we, run. And we didn't run the same gear from Friday to Saturday either. So, I mean, just the whole thing about Friday getting to run and getting, the goal was to get in that top 10. And, Friday, as long as you did that, it was a test session for us. And then Saturday, we worked on it during the day and tweaked a few things. And fortunately, we went the right direction with it.
Yes, $50,000 worth of reasons, fortunately.
Yeah. Piggybacking off that, let's go, Jared. What did you guys change from barely making the cut Friday night to going all out and winning it Saturday?
Man, Logan's calling him out there. Hold on. No, I love it, Logan. This is fun. But you said, Jared, you got 9th, right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
How close were you to what was the bubble? Jared, Logan, what was the 9th and 10th distance?
Let me take a look at that here.
Too close for me.
I interviewed a couple bubble pullers Friday night as they were waiting for that. So I was bad luck.
No, Jesse was the bubble. I can't remember how close we were.
Okay. Less than 2 foot to the bubble.
Oh.
Just a tiny margin, and then going out and winning the class by huge numbers. What did you guys do?
It was more than 10 feet, wasn't it?
Yeah. It was over 10 foot.
It was 10. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, let's show Jared's run, and he can talk about it. We during the full pull live, Jared, we backed it up because we could see that fist pumping in there. I wish we'd had a camera in there on you. So
running for 50,000, and I knew at that time I was going to go cruising by the leader flag, so I just couldn't resist that part.
Yeah, no, you have to notice.
Yeah,
for sure.
Yeah,
but so we did change. I did gear up from our Friday to Saturday on my truck. I wanted to Friday, and I chickened out, and I kind of what I call played it safe. And as soon as I spun in Friday, I was mad at myself because I thought we wasn't going to make the bump. I played it too safe. But like Eric said, it was kind of, you wanted to to do good and kind of test a little, but yet you needed to, for us, like you had to stay in the top 10. So you couldn't slouch too much, but we made it in. And then, we did make changes. I sped up gear, we put a little more tune up in it. And then for me, I got to watch my other 3 trucks. Jeremy held the lead for a while out in front. So we kind of looked at computer data real quick between runs and seeing where his was. And I always have a sweet spot with mine and Bethany's that I like to try to tune them by. So I tweaked on them a little bit more, and then everything just stuck. Hers was set up the exact same way. It just did not like the start for some reason. So I really was counting on her to get down there too. Hers didn't come out of the hole as smooth as what mine did.
Yeah.
And how much having 4 different trucks competing, how much of an advantage was that for you guys?
Oh, it's definitely. I mean, like I said, they're the one thing you didn't have to worry about is you didn't have to worry about where he was going to put weight, because from Thursday, Friday to Saturday, it was all on the nose regardless. So that was one factor you didn't have to worry about. So that made that part a little easier. I mean, it was like Louisville for us. I mean, I pulled weight boxes off both of ours. I mean, I tried to get everything I could on the front because I knew if I could keep mine down below knee high, as I call it, and it stick there, it would go. And it's like I said, you watch that run, it bounced once, and when it stuck, it didn't touch it down till 350.
Yeah, it was perfect, Jerry.
Yeah.
It was perfect.
That's my sweet spot if I can get it there.
Yeah. Now we could tell in the trailer you were hauling ass. Yeah. I mean, because I'm because we had 5 screens in front of us, and we just know. You watch enough pulling, and you see that stuff. All right,
and that was that feeling.
Yeah, no, 100%. It was bad. As we're gonna play your run, and then you can talk about it.
Okay.
So as in the pro stock class, we saw some people tried to run just that right line. Jason Round came back later at night and almost got you running that left line. You kind of started to the middle and drifted to the right. Was that the plan all along, or did you just kind of let the pro stock go where it wanted to go?
Yeah, that was kind of the plan the whole time. I mean, that was kind of the plan the whole time. We kind of wanted to run almost just down the middle. Like on Friday, I tapped the brake a little bit, and I think that's what dropped the front end. So, I didn't want to tap the brake that next night, and it just kind of got over to just the corner, and that's all she wrote.
Oh, well said. Does your dad help you read the track, or does your grandpa? Who kind of is in charge of telling you where to put it and where to go?
My dad, and we kept just the same gear, same tire pressure from Friday night. We moved just 100 back, and that was it.
Perfect. I love it. Let's play Rob Foster's run, Ken's. Let Rob talk about that. Take us through your run there, Rob.
Well, I think everything was perfect except the finish. I wish I could get that bounce out of it at the end. I think it'd go further, but we've been fighting it on that red sled, and I just changing little things. But other than that, I thought it was good. It came out of the hole nice, and clutch dust rolling out like it's supposed to, and away we went.
At the time, who was in the lead, Rob, when you went?
Daniel Bosch.
Daniel Bosch, okay. That's the Midnight Raider, right?
Yeah.
Cool. Good stuff. And did you know you had the lead, or?
No, I did not. When I looked out the window, it looked like I was close to the 350 mark, so I knew it was good, but I had no idea. And Darren, I think he talked to Charles as I was going across the scales, and he come over and was jumping up and down and telling me.
Absolutely. All right, let's show Dean's run here. Dean, how many times have you watched that video?
A lot.
I think we all have.
I got back to the motorhome that night, and I think I stayed up another hour just watching that.
So, Dean, from Friday night to Saturday night, I mean, you won your qualifier, and then is that something where you just load it back up in the toter and don't touch anything until the pole rolls around Saturday, or did you guys go through and change some more stuff around?
I mean, I did all my normal maintenance. We made one small adjustment just to lean on it a little harder. And, I was a train wreck Saturday night. And Isaac Conway and my wife and Carlton Cope came over. And honestly, he said, get that thing going and lean on it. And he says to me, I says, boy, I don't ever win poles in a high gear. And he says, you think it can hack it? And I said, I don't know. You build the motor. So I trusted it, and we went with it. So
I think that was a good choice, Dean.
Yeah.
I think that was a good choice. No, watching you guys with the cameras, putting those cameras on you guys, that was the highlight of the whole evening for us. It had to be for your fans watching. I mean, Lily got to watch Eric kind of pace around, and Eric was a little more stoic than you were, Dean. You were the most emotional, Dean. Jared got the bat. Rob just kind of stood there.
No, he went behind the truck and had the whole celebration.
Did he? Okay, we gotta catch him on that. So it was good stuff. And then Esden was standing down with his dad and his grandpa, and Robbie was super happy. So that was pretty neat.
As soon as I saw the cameras come over, I just started talking to Van more. That way, we keep my attention off of it. So
yeah,
not too hard to carry on a conversation with Van there. So it worked
no,
out.
no, not at all. No, we're trying to make great TV, and I feel bad as a puller when something breaks and we're out there talking to you guys right away. But that's what we need to show the fans, that raw emotion. And this was good raw emotion. And then there's bad raw emotion. When I went out to Robbie Fagundes on Thursday night when Jesselyn broke, that was some raw emotion, the opposite side. So, but that's part of the sport, and we want to show that more to the fans, and we think it's good for everybody. So. Obviously, you guys saw the post for next year for RJ's date. I think you put June 18th through the 20th. Is that what you saw on Facebook? Does that sound right to everybody?
I didn't see it.
Okay, I think so, Rob. I think I saw it on the Facebook page last night.
RJ made a post.
RJ made a post? Okay. Do you guys get automatic invites? Does it paid for next year? Have you heard anything cool like this? Or
I haven't heard any of the details.
You haven't heard any details?
I've not heard anything.
I think we should start some rumors. I think, don't you? I think that'd be fun. So
I just hope to have our class again. That's all I care about.
I don't know what class you would bring in. I mean, it was already I think the shortest show was 5.5 hours, right?
Yeah.
So I don't think you'd have to almost do another night of qualifying if you wanted to do more of it, right?
Or just don't take as many.
But that's how you get the purse up.
Yeah, that's true.
Because I mean, for Eric to win $50,000, he had to buy in $5,000.
Right.
You know what I mean?
I mean, just don't take as many to the finals.
Ooh, make the eliminations tighter.
Yeah.
I like 10. I like that top 10 thing. That's cool. That's cool.
What'd you guys all think of that lucky dog system with bringing one puller resurrected back?
That was kind of neat. That really was.
That was very neat.
Yeah, I liked it. I mean, our class, I think Nick Headley got up to 4th maybe as a lucky dog, almost hit the top 3. So yeah, that's awesome.
Well, for us, with the minis, Peter got in with the mini he drives on the lucky dog, and he got 2nd Saturday night. So it was real good for him.
So let's talk something a little bit bigger. What are you guys doing with the new $50,000 checks that y'all got now? Is it staying with the motorsports, or is there other big purchases in mind?
There's always upgrades to do on the pulling side of things, and we tore up a lot of shit last year, so it's just replenishing stuff back.
Yeah, I got it. Had Mayhill bring me a new set of tires, and I said, "Well, put rims on them. We might as well step out of our comfort zone and get some good tires on it right out of the gate." And so we spent that, and then the wife, she was going to Disney now, I guess.
What,
I'm pretty sure all
what
mine.
about you, Eric?
Girl. Probably a lot of diapers and all that kind of stuff. So whatever she needs, whatever she wants, which she would have got it anyway, but this just makes it a little sweeter.
Hesden?
I have no control of that. That was all my dad. He said I don't get any of it. First, so I was like, how about 10%? And he's like, no. So I got no clue. Probably some tires or something for the tractor.
Awesome.
I want to talk about tech a little bit, Logan. Tech was different. How much different was tech here, guys, than a normal pull? Rob, you want to go first?
Well, we have been measured before, things like that, but I thought it was excellent. I mean, that's the way it should be done, in my opinion. It just takes a lot of time and a lot of work, but they gave everybody a chance to fix it if something was wrong, and I appreciated it. And then afterwards, they brought us in there again, made sure everything was right, checked their fuel. I liked it.
Yep. So did they bring the top 10 back or the top 3 back afterwards, Rob? I saw it looked like everybody went across the scale, right?
Everybody went across the scale, the drawbar pad, which should happen every night. And yeah, top 3 went in the barn in 4-wheel drive class anyway.
Okay. So promoters, if you're listening, the pullers want you to check drawbars and wait after the pull. So did anybody check the scales? Jared, did you check the weigh-in scale? Because I hung out by that tech guy a little bit. I forgot his name. Because you guys were, I'm 20 pounds light. I'm not taking any chances. I heard a couple guys say, how close were they, Jared or Eric or Dean or Rob?
I never even glanced. You just pulled on. Basically, they gave you the thumbs up and sent you on your way. So I guess we was good, however it was.
Yep.
We were 6,050 pounds Thursday night coming across at the end.
Okay. Nice.
Yeah.
I give myself about 20 pounds leeway, but I mean, yeah, I didn't think I thought that was the right way to do it. I mean, I wish they did that every night, because what happens is that, some nights, I mean, tractor guys do it all the time. You go back there and you say you want to drop your drawbar. Well, somebody sees you back there messing with it. It just keeps all the rumors at bay, like you're not raising it. You know what I'm saying? Like, it just takes it out of the equation.
Yep. No, I agree. I love it.
Like for me, I gave my tires a tenth of a pound of pressure, and I knew my drawbar was low anyway. So, hey, you don't have to worry about people saying, "What's he doing to his tires?" and all that. Yep. So I think it's a pretty good deal.
No, I like it too.
Well, that kind of goes off of the racing thing, though. I mean, RJ, it's a dirt late model facility. When you're a competitor, it's your job to go and scale your car before the race, and then after the race, it's a green light or a red light, and that's on you. And that's where that comes from. So that's the idea.
No, I agree. That was the one thing that I heard RJ say over and over again. He just wanted it fair. I mean, he was adamant about that. I know. Rob, don't they measure hitches at Bowling Green too afterwards at the end of the track or something?
Yes, they do, and they have also done it at Toma and set scales up at Toma at the end of the run. But we all know too, there's a lot of places can't do it because they were never set up that way in the first place. But so to ask all promoters to do it, it's difficult. I understand that, but it was cool that they were able to do it here.
Yeah. Well, they got the setup. I can't think of a more. What are some other venues, guys, that have it all like that? The pits, the everything. They got it all there. I know the sound needs to be better in the
Wheatland
stand.
would be the only other one that comes to mind that's like that.
Wheatland.
Yeah, I mean.
Okay.
That big, Yeah.
Wheatland is one of the premier diamond of dirt track places to pull, and they truly did something special there.
Do they still pull in Wheatland?
No.
No, they don't. That's the one they have my tractor's been there, but I never went with it because of my son always had a football game. But don't they have the water drag racing boats right out back there?
Yes.
I thought. So it's a motorsports park.
Yep.
So.
Yep. Closed course, dirt track, and a whole bunch of other stuff.
Jared, does anything, and I'm going to ask each one of you this, I want to know other times you've been this nervous, or what other, because if you don't say what is your favorite pull, Farley, Iowa, I think RJ is going to slap all of you for the rest of your life, for at least for the next year. But Jared, what other pulls have you been this nervous at, or maybe this anxious or this much anxiety over your 29-year career?
Probably Farm Show.
Okay.
That's always kind of the premier. I've won at Bowling Green, Toma. The Farm Show was just 2 years ago, and that was one that was kind of special because me and Bethany was both in the finals, and we was sitting first and second early on, and then had to wait out the rest of the class. So that was definitely pretty nerve-wracking, but probably not as nerve-wracking as Farley when there's $50,000 on the line.
Yeah, understood. Rob, what about you, bud?
I agree with him, the Farm Show. And I really don't know why, but I thought I was fairly calm here in Farley. And I even told Tanya, going down the track, it was something I never did, but I was like kind of looking around a little bit down the track. And I don't know why. I couldn't believe it. I think I was a little more calm than other places.
Yep.
But the Farm Show gets me worked up.
Why?
It's so much different.
Why is it different, Rob, in your mind?
The track is so short, the track is so good, and the sled is so heavy. It feels like we're hooked to cement behind us. And in a 4-wheel drive, if you leave too hard, you bounce. If you don't leave hard enough, you choke. If you don't have your front suspension set right there, the front end chatters. There's so many variables there that are completely different. And we're doing better, but that one gets me.
No, understood. Esden, what about you, bud?
I would say probably Bowling Green is close, but I mean it was pretty tough just I was the fourth hook, and then I had to watch 18 other tractors go. I mean, that was probably the most nervous I've ever been.
Understood. Dean, what about you?
Probably the only one other than this deal was Toma last year. I mean, we had to wait for 20 tractors to go, and so that was nerve-wracking. But this by far was the hardest thing for me to ever sit and wait through.
Yeah, understood. Eric, what about you, bud?
For one event, I mean, this is been the top tier event. But far as nerves, I mean, anytime you come down at the end of the year and you got a close points battle for a championship, which we've been in, it doesn't matter the venue you're at, you're nervous that day, just to make sure that you do your job. And, a lot of times things are out of your control. So, I don't have a particular place, but I can think of a couple of years that we was running for a championship that, made me super nervous. And fortunately, it went our way.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
100%.
So looking overall back on the weekend, anything you'd change with the event or the turnout or anything? Let's just start with Rob again.
No, it was perfect.
Jared, same?
I agree. I feel like they put a lot of thought and effort in it, and I don't really know off the top of my head what they could have done to make it any better than it already was. I mean, the weather is usually a huge factor in this sport, and it was beautiful. So that made things a lot more accommodating for sure.
Dean?
It was perfect, and hats off to the Simons and what they put together. And I mean, who can argue the dust control is so awesome there? It's just fun watching Artie drive around doing that.
What is that? What is that stuff they put down? I don't even know. It was all over my white car.
It's like
I mean, Artie picks on me once in a while, and it was enjoyable watching him drive that truck around spraying that glue.
Eric?
I just wish we could do it more times a year out there. I mean, I don't have any complaints at all. I mean, other than the fact that my wife and my baby couldn't be with me. Other than that, that's it.
And Esden?
I totally agree. I mean, I think it was just a perfect event. The track was great. The people were great. I mean, not much else that us as pullers can really just go talk about or need,
I agree.
And this is a rumor that I heard floating around earlier in the year. But what would be your guys' thoughts on if other venues started to accept this $2,500 buy-in? What would be some other venues you'd like to see it ran at? And would you run, so to speak, a speed week where you could walk out with $200,000 if you won 4 events in a row?
It would make things interesting, that's for sure. But I don't know. we was thinking about that this weekend. Like, I don't know if there's a whole lot of places that are set up to do what they did at Farley. With the room, not many places have that much room. RJ accommodated everybody. And then just the setup they had with their bar place up front. Being able to do all the interviews and the drawings and all that. I mean, that just kind of well-rounded everything in place to make it a overall perfect facility. There might be a few out there, but it'd be hard to compare one to Farley.
Yep.
Well, if you look at dirt track racing, I mean, you look at Eldora and Knoxville and the crown jewel events or whatever. Kyle Larson. They've got the high limit stuff now. Like, these guys are. Their buy-in, I'm sure, is more than their weekly racing is, and they're running for big purses. And I'm okay with it, as long as it's fair for everybody to be able to buy in. I don't want anybody to be left out. Like, we're only taking this amount, a 10, and there's 30 of them that's available. You got to, I think it was the right amount for everybody to be invited this weekend. I think that was fair.
Yeah. Another thing we haven't talked about enough, but second place was 20 grand and third place was 10 grand. So even like third place was higher than anything. There's only been a couple $10,000 ones out there. I know Mac Trailer, I think Shy did it a couple times, or at Wagler's Park. A couple big dollar amounts on there like that. So, guys, we have 5 minutes left. So I'm going to go around the room. I can't thank you enough again. Congratulations on the $50,000 win. I'm going to start with you, Rob Foster. Not the money. What does this mean to you? What does this mean to you and Tanya?
Well, it's probably going to keep me going because I had about had enough. Not going to lie.
That's okay.
When Carmen stopped, I thought I don't need to do this anymore. But I don't know, I'm kind of perked back up.
Understood. And where are you pulling next, sir?
Toma.
Okay. And what sessions are you in?
I believe Thursday and Saturday afternoon, I think.
Okay. Sounds good. Esden Lemke, besides the money, what does this mean to your team?
I mean, just for me, this is my first big win I've ever had. Like, I've done good at like a Bowling Green and Toma, but I've never won. So this is my first big one, and like last year we had just an awesome year, but in 2022 and 2023 we kind of struggled, and I think we're coming back to where our tractor was like in like 2015, 2016. So it feels nice to be able to go out there and go get just a couple wins.
Yep. And where's New Generation Plus going next, Esden?
We're going to Toma.
Okay. And what are pros Friday night and Saturday night, I'm assuming?
Yep. The Friday night and Saturday.
Perfect. Jared, what's this mean to the Midnight Motorsports camp?
I mean, other than, like you said, it's another huge win. It's the first of one of the big wins. That's where
I think you said something about a feather in your cap during your interview there.
It is. I mean, it's like, I've had some big wins. This is just, we've never ran for 50,000. So to be the first one of this deal, I mean, it definitely makes it special. So it's kind of a big deal. It ranks right up there with all the rest of them, if not a little above, just because it was kind of the first of hopefully many more, but just kind of a unique deal. So definitely special.
Yeah, cool. And then where were you guys be heading next?
Kind of undecided. Possibly Tampico. We're still on the fence if we want to run points with PPL this year or what we're going to do, honestly. So Tampico is technically this coming weekend, so we got to figure it out pretty quick, I guess.
Yeah, you got a couple days. A couple days. Is that too far from home for you?
It's still probably 3 hours,
Okay.
so not terrible though.
Gotcha. And then Eric Stacy. What besides the money, what does this mean to you and Lily and
Ellington.
Ellington? I didn't know his daughter's name. So she's only 6.
Days.
6 days old. Sorry, Eric. I'll never forget Ellington's name ever again. Ever again.
It just means that all the hard work our team has put in and all the people that have supported me for all these years and sticking with it has paid off. You know, the last handful of years we've been really successful, and you know, every year I find something that's more gratifying and just, you know, more reason to keep going. And you know, I'm getting Lily involved and getting her in the seat, and you know, every time she gets in it, she catches on that much more, you know, that quick. And you know, before long, like, you know, it's people are going to have to take notice when she's in the seat, because I mean, she's good. And I just think that you know, I'm just proud. I mean, bottom line, like it's not wasted. You know, it's not all for nothing. And you're running around. You're away from home, and makes you feel good when you come home and you know you've paid off.
Yep. And then where will we see you next, Eric?
I don't have any specific plans. I don't think we're going to be at Toma or anywhere that weekend. Kind of just playing it by ear. I mean, we bought our license for both organizations this summer, but I think we're just going to go to the ones that we can go, try to feel out, you know, what traveling is like with a newborn and things like that. And it'll be a good year. I mean, no pressure, no points, and just try to maybe do some R&D and test some things that I've been wanting to do for the last couple of years, but we'll see how it goes.
Perfect. And Dean, what does this mean to you and Beth?
I mean, the momentum, it was just so exciting. I mean, it was really a big accomplishment for our team and group, and that was just overwhelming in joy. And we've assembled a really good group that help us, and I mean, they were all so stoked. And I think overall, probably 200 text messages and all the pats on the back and calls. I mean, how can it get any better than that?
Mm-hmm.
It can't. And then where are you heading next, Dean?
No, we got Toma. We're gonna run Region 3 this year. I haven't pulled at Louisville's as long as these veterans here have, and so we got to try to get in there again. Or not Toma, Louisville.
I know what you meant. What sessions do you have? 2 hooks in Toma or just one?
Thursday night, and I'm pretty sure Friday night.
Okay. Nice. Well, guys, thank you for coming on. This means the world to us. I really hope sponsors take notice of this and they realize that their brand can get a lot of eyeballs, so we can do this stuff, and maybe you don't even have to pay $2,500. That would be my dream. To have purses like this, have sponsors big enough to want to throw at it. So, Esden, Jared, Rob, Eric, Dean, thank you for coming on tonight. We appreciate it. Enjoy your week, and everybody kick your ass next weekend, no matter where you go. So, you're getting back up. Oh, now you got a $50,000. I beat the $50,000 winner target on you. Pretty neat. Thank you, guys.
Yeah,
Thank you.
Thank you for a great weekend.
Thanks,
Thanks
fellas.
for those interviews at the end. That was the best. Those reactions. So, thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Good night, guys.
Good
That's
night.
good, boys. Yep. See ya.
Kenzie's going to clean you guys off the board like checkers here in a second. We're going to bring on Brian Bolins next. Cambridge, Illinois. Wow, Logan. That was cool.
That was something.
That was cool. Imagine how we feel just watching it. It was Logan, dude. You're gonna have to come next year with this, buddy. Whether you have your mini there or not.
Yeah,
it's legit.
This is starting to take notice. Like I saw something come across my feed today from Kyle Matcham out at Dragway 42. Sounds like he's starting to take some notes from this.
Oh, if there's a ton of ideas floating around from a bunch of different people now. So I got to do that. I want to get my poster up of Cambridge, Illinois behind me. Let's bring on Brian. Let's switch gears a little bit. Brian, how are you, sir? He's muted.
I'm doing great. Thanks for having me tonight.
Yep. I know you came on. You got to watch a little bit of the show behind the scenes. We just had the biggest weekend there should be good momentum. People excited about Cambridge this Friday, don't you think?
Oh, definitely. It's hard to follow that act up, but it's sure exciting for the sport. That's for sure.
It sure is. Obviously, this is the first time I've heard about your poll in Cambridge. It's the Henry County Fair, right?
That's right. Yeah.
Okay, I did not want to butcher that because I didn't check my notes on that, Kenzie.
Yeah.
Do we have a video of their poll we can play?
do.
So this is a promo video. So this is this Friday night, and then we're gonna let Brian dive into the details. So we can take as long as we want, Brian, so we can can breathe. We don't have any other guests after you tonight. So hit it, Kenzie.
The Outlaw Truck and Tractor Pulling Association thunders into Cambridge, Illinois for Smokin' on the Prairie. Join us Friday, June 20th at 6 p.m. for 2 tracks of awesome outlaw action. 5 total classes will bring all the noise and power. Cambridge, Illinois, Friday, June 20th. Smokin' on the Prairie.
Good stuff. Now, on the poster, I saw a bunch of I saw some outlaw classes and some back road pullers classes as well. Can you take us through everything?
Yeah, that's right. So yeah, we're just super excited to have the Outlaws coming to Cambridge, and from my understanding, the first time they've been west of the Mississippi, at least in a long, long time. So that's an honor to have.
Yeah, it's been kind of this. The Outlaws are west of the Mississippi, and then everybody else is east of the Mississippi. So This is fun to have them cross over. So
yeah, so we got. I think we got a great lineup with the Outlaws. We got pro stock tractors, limited pro tractors, super modified 2-wheel drives, and then modified 4-wheel drives and super modified tractors as well. So really good lineup from the Outlaws. And then, like you said, we got backroads pullers, and that's who I've been pulling with for the last few years, and we've had them at our show for the last several years. So kind of more of the local classes that always brings in a lot of people for the fair as well. So we love having them back, and we got a couple farm stock classes, and then we got 11.5 improved farm stock tractors, and then we do have an open 7,000 pound open tractor, and then the King of 15 mile an hour 12,000 pound class that Backroads is hosting as well. So and that's the tractors, and then for the trucks, we got 7,000 pound open, 7,500 stock gas trucks, 8,000 pound diesel open, and then an 8,500 stock diesel truck. So pretty extensive lineup for Friday night.
I was going to say, is this 2 tracks?
Definitely 2 tracks. Yep.
Yeah, I was going to say, Kenzie just went, because Kenzie's live streaming it. She just went, thank God.
Yeah. Yeah, we'd be there well into the morning if we didn't have 2 tracks.
So I'm assuming fans can expect the Outlaw classes to go out, put their show down because of insurance, right? And then the back roads start after that, or how are you guys doing that?
Well, we are doing 2 sleds. I think, obviously we won't have 2 sleds going down the track at the same time, but my understanding is we will be alternating back and forth.
Okay, so there'll be an Outlaw track and then a back road track.
Yes.
But that's kind of what you do in Buckner.
Buckner, yeah.
With Outlaws
With
and
MSTPA.
MSTPA. Okay, cool. I know insurance is goofy with stuff like that, Brian.
Yeah, it can be, but that's my understanding. The Outlaws will be closest to the main grandstand on that side of the track, and then pit side will be the back roads. So
well, like you legit picked the biggest Outlaw classes for horsepower and popularity. So I think it's going to be awesome for you guys. I've been working with the Outlaws for a number of years now, pulled with them, and it's a great club. I think you're going to love it. So
yeah, we're super excited to bring that level of competition to we've had a long history of pulling here at Cambridge. We just haven't had quite that level before. We've had ITPA and some other local organizations. We just haven't had anything quite that big. So really excited about it.
Talk us through the past a little bit. How did you guys get to where we are today?
Well, like I say, if you go way back, I've been going to this pull since I was little. It's my hometown. I just live about 7 miles east of there and farm outside of Cambridge.
Brian, what do you pull? Let's find a picture. Kinsey will find it. I'll find a picture of your tractor. What do you have?
So, well, we're just kind of the local. We're a street stock gas class. So we pull with back roads. I pulled with the Illini State some in the past as well. But we got a 69 Chevy 4-wheel drive street stock that we run. And we did run 1 points 2 years ago. And I guess thanks to my pulling partner, Justin Moffett, who's kind of the brains of the operation there. But yeah, we've been running that truck since 1998. He was a college buddy of mine. So we had a lot of good time with that truck. But yeah, if you go way back,
Facebook page or anything we can find your truck on?
Oh, I don't.
Would it be on the Backroad Pullers page, maybe?
Yeah, we're on Backroad Pullers. Yeah, in fact, if you go to backroadspulling.com, you'll find all the classes, the rules, and all the pullers there. So yeah, I know we're on there. So
Right.
in fact, our truck is actually. If you got that flyer, our truck is actually on the flyer there, right above the Backroads logo. So
yep.
Okay.
Perfect.
Yep. So, yep. But yeah, you go way back, and I don't know if you remember West Central Pullers.
Yes.
That was a big organization here, and I know Jerry Runo had a big part of that, and then he eventually went and pulled Outlaws.
Yep.
He's I'd almost consider a neighbor. He's from Cambridge, and so he kind of was big in terms of getting the pull going, to what it is now at Cambridge. And then, like I say, we've got Illini State Pullers, and I believe that's a night off for them too. We've heard from several of those guys that are planning on coming down just because it is a night off and a good opportunity for them as well. So I think
I put the poster up today on the Outlaw page, Brian, and I saw a bunch of chatter comments. I think you're going to have a really big show.
I do too. In fact, we've been talking a lot about parking in pits, so we got a plan, but definitely looking for a full crowd. So
talking venue here, how's that shaping up for the weekend? Is the track coming around good?
Yeah, it's looking pretty good. There is a little bit of rain in the forecast. We've been watching that close. We got it got it packed down tight, so we should be able to shed some water if we do get some rain between now and then. But it looked right now, it's going to be warm, but it looks like it should be a good clear night on Friday. So I think if everything shapes up and holds together, we should be in real good shape there. So
has the fair always had a big track and tractor pull, like crowd wise in the past?
It's been pretty well attended. We decided we wanted to move to Friday night just to be able to host this. Last few years we've had a concert on Friday night, and we shifted that to Thursday so we could kind of have the polls the big main event. On Friday. So,
no, that's awesome.
Yep.
And talk us through some of the fan side of the perspective. Is it bleacher seating, lawn chair seating? What can the fans expect?
Yeah. So we've got some good bleachers that we bring in for the show on the pit side. So we got really good access to the right close to the track there on the pits. And then, of course, we got our permanent grandstands that'll be on the Outlaw side, on the other side of the racetrack. So we got a horse racetrack here on the grounds, but good seating on both sides. We do have an infield beer tent that's right there with the pit side grandstand, so that works out well. And then we'll have pit passes where you can go back, meet the drivers, and get to see all these rigs coming in. So,
what day did the fair start this week, Brian?
Actually, been there all day today, weighing in pigs, and so it starts tomorrow. But today was kind of 4-H day where everybody gets their livestock in, and so it's up and running.
Poll starts at 6. What time gates open, and then when can pullers come in?
Yeah, I think gates will open at 5 for the stands, but pullers can get there pretty much whenever they want throughout the day. We can get them in and get them situated. So, yep. So mainly they'll be coming in from the south side. That'll be a pit entrance right into the racetrack, and they'll cross the track and get into the interior part of the racetrack there.
So what class are you most excited to see, Brian? You're a door slammer, so obviously you want to see 4-wheel drive trucks, right?
Well, I tell you, I love the 4-wheel drive trucks, but I tell you what, it's hard to beat the pro stock tractors. I'm super excited to have them come to town. I've had a lot of friends in college that pulled pro stocks, so excited to see them come to town for sure.
Well, that's great.
So the big thing for this year is bringing the Outlaws in. Any other big things going forward?
Well, yeah, we hope to keep that going. But yeah, that's really the number one thing we got going this year for the pull is just having that level of pulling coming into our town, and hoping to. It's really neat to see the local area too. With Donaldson having a pull within the vicinity, and the big sponsorship that got announced there between I think there's 3 polls where they got $10,000 sponsorship between those three.
That's
so
a Organics.
Mhm.
I think
Yeah.
that's a Organic sweep, right? Yeah.
Yeah, right. So that's definitely perked the interest for us, and appreciate their sponsorship with that, as well as like the sponsorship there on our brochure, Hanford Insurance. We couldn't do it without them as well. So appreciate that sponsorship. Let's get
And
this
talk
going.
us through some of the stuff that goes on behind the scenes.
Oh, there's always a lot of track prep and getting those bleachers. We've got temporary bleachers that I said that we bring in from another community that they allow us to bring them in, and just getting all the tents up. And I've been on the fair board for the last probably 6 years now, and it just can't happen without all the volunteers behind the scenes. So I'm always appreciative of all the help that we get from local volunteers. And I help when I can, but I got 2 young kids too, so that makes it hard to juggle that between ball games and livestock that we're showing too. So just got a lot of great volunteers on the board.
Okay. So, this event's been going on for many years. Anything in the past that really stands out to you as this was a great year or a memorable year?
Oh, like I said, we've had a lot of great organizations come through. I think we had some really good competition with the ITPA when we've had them there in years past. But it's just a great venue to have. You got the carnival in the background, and you got the livestock in the back, and it's just a really good family event, and a lot of locals that really enjoy the pulling, and it's always fun to see the local classes too, where you've got a lot of family that everybody knows the local guys that bring their farm stocks out, and to combine that with a big show is always fun.
And that's something I always see special about event, incorporating the family aspect into it, and just something fun for the whole family to do on a Friday night.
You bet. I think something fun too that I've noticed is, it always takes, as a ton of volunteers to get a pull to go smoothly. And, I've recruited a lot of, high school kids to come and help with setup on the track and help hook sleds and so forth. And to see them, 1 year they're hooking sleds and unhooking sleds, and then the next year they show up and they start pulling, and they've got a tractor of their own, and it's really cool to see that as they evolve from helping out to actually going down the track. So
yeah. So what are you most looking forward to this weekend?
Oh, I'm just excited to really get. I hope to fill the grandstands, and that's always a goal, and just to kind of to share this level of pulling that a lot of people haven't seen in our area. If they're not a diehard puller or been in it as long as I have, it'll be neat to share that kind of horsepower with everybody to see what the latest is with the pulling world.
Yeah. See Randy Barker out here saying who's the concert for Thursday night?
David Nail is our concert Thursday night. Yep. And then I should mention we got a rodeo Wednesday night. We got a big demolition derby on Saturday night. That always fills the stands as well. So, and then we do have some garden scale or garden tractors on Sunday to round the week out too, as well as all the livestock shows that start tomorrow. So
nice. So you talked filling people putting butts in seats. What can the people here watching do to better help? Tell your best friend that something's going on. What else do you have to add?
Yeah, I think that's just the social media is huge nowadays for getting the word out, and I think we appreciate you guys having us on to do that, and just spreading the word on those pages, and telling your friends about it, and I think that's really the way it goes now.
Has there been a pretty good buzz about the event, bringing in the Outlaws and the bigger equipment, Brian, from the pullers, or like from your fans?
Oh yeah, there sure has, and you probably talked with Jake, our president, but I know he's talked to several people, and from what I've heard, there's some pullers that went out to Farley, and they're just kind of hanging out, and they're going to be coming straight over from there. So we're really excited about being able to do that, and it was good.
Yeah, if there's a casino close by, that's where they are right now, Brian. I can guarantee that.
We have a few of those close by.
No, Donald Nelson and the Texas Bullet Motorsports team, they've been out. I talked to Dustin. They're going to be out for 3 weeks because of this trip. So it's pretty
wow.
neat.
Yeah.
I heard
That's great.
Dornbushers are bringing their new mod there. Yeah, you're going to have a heck of a mod class because you're going to get some of the ITPA guys, and
Yep.
you're going to have a hell of a show. You are going to have
Yeah.
one hell of a great show. So
Yep. Really looking forward to it.
You guys are real close to Epicenter, just being slightly southeast of Dubuque, right up there.
Yep.
So you guys right there next to a whole bunch of people, so it should be a pretty good crowd, hopefully.
Yeah, I think we got a really good opportunity to pull in a lot of people from up there, and yeah, I think right now probably the closest large pull in our area would be at Henry. The people,
Yeah.
I think it's been PPL for a while, but that's
Yep.
the biggest one that I've been to in our area here. So
is your grandstand comparable to Henry's, Brian? Is that
it's probably not quite as big, but we got a lot of infield, grandstands as well. So I think
Good.
we should be able to seat everybody pretty well.
So you're on the fair board, you said?
Yep, I've been on there for, like I say, probably the last 6 years or so. I kind of lost track, but yeah.
Thank you for doing a thankless job, Brian.
Oh,
I appreciate it.
I appreciate it.
So,
Yep.
so concert Thursday night, tractor pull Friday night. What's on Saturday night?
Yeah, that's our big demolition derby. Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, we'll fill the stands that night, at least the grandstand side. We always seems to bring in a lot of people, so hopefully we always just hope for good weather. It seems like we've had a lot of big thunderstorms that came through. Last year we had the pull was on Thursday night, and we just had a downpour about an hour before the pull started, and we were able to move it to Sunday night. But with a pull of this size, where it's kind of a one-shot deal, so we'll just hope for good weather on Friday night.
Yeah. Have you had the wets? Like I helped with the Pullers Championship down in Nashville. I know that's more south of you yet. And when we were down there in mid-May, Brian, they hadn't even got an acre a corner.
Oh, I know they really struggled down there. I've got friends from Effingham, and I know they were in the same situation there. But luckily, we had probably a 10-day window during planting season where we were out, but we've really had pretty good weather overall for getting the crop in, and everybody's kind of wrapping up side dressing and some spraying going on right now.
With the back road pullers, I want to talk a little bit more about them because I do think for a fair, I think it's amazing that you're able to put the Outlaws on one track and the back road pulls on another, because you have national level stuff and then you also have your local guys, and that's kind of what the fair is all about. Is I want to do good at my local fair or something. How long's back road pullers been around? What do you know much history on them at all?
Yeah, I think probably about 5 years now. They're a fairly young organization, but total grassroots type organization that is just about trying to get out to more venues. And they're if you get on their website, you can see their list of pulls this year has just exploded. So it's a pretty full schedule for a local type organization. They're pretty packed with a lot of local fairs around the area here. So.
With the 6 mile an hour and 8 mile an hour 12.5, that's going to really get some of the younger kids involved, or even
exactly.
People get started, and then the approved farm stock, you get rolling a little bit. We kind of like an altered farm where everybody called it something a little bit different. Then your open tractors, that's kind of a run what you brung. Those are always fun to video. And then the king of the 15 mile, is that the class that Goose Graves always pulls in down there at Gordyville, that king of the hill?
I'm not sure on that one.
Because he's from Illinois, isn't he? Goose?
I want to say so.
I think he is. And then the open truck. So like a 7,000 open truck, is that probably gas or diesel, or is it just trying to run what you brung, or what do you see in that?
That's pretty much run what you brung there. So
I don't know how many diesel trucks that can get down to 7,000 pounds though, but I guess I do. But
you probably could if you were. Yeah, it'd be a stretch, but some of them can.
And then you had an 8,000 diesel gas open truck. What class do you run in with yours?
We're in the gas stock gas 7,500 pound.
7,500. Okay.
Yep.
And there's an 8,500 stock diesel truck as well.
Yep.
Well, you did not make a mistake bringing the Outlaws in. Super professional, well run. They're going to put on a good show for you. And I know with them being there for the first time, heck, you'll probably see some Outlaws rolling in Wednesday night would be my guess. Ron and Kyle and some of the guys. So
sure.
Yep.
Yeah. Looking forward to it for sure.
It's going to be fun. Anybody else you want to thank here tonight before we let you go, Brian?
Oh, just there's so many people. I guess all of our sponsors that help with the fair. The fair can't really go on without its sponsors. So we've got a huge list, and I can't touch on all of them, but yeah, definitely Hanford for covering the poll for us this year. But just take a look at the Henry County Fair Illinois.com website, and you'll see all of our sponsors on there, and check out all the rest of the information for the fair.
So are you sitting in your pulling shop right now, Brian?
Yeah. Yeah, I'm in our little shop here. So.
Yeah, I like it. I like it a lot.
Yeah.
Looks good. Looks good. Well, great. Well, thanks for coming on tonight. Good luck. Like I said, you're going to have a great show. Just weather is the only factor. We said there's a small chance, but it's Monday, right? It's going to be
yeah. I mean, it's going to change, right? But honestly, a little bit of moisture between now and then wouldn't hurt a thing, So I think that'll be just fine. So
we got a big rain here today in Richland Center, so
did you?
We'll see what happens. Cool.
Yeah.
Well, Brian, thank you for everything, and good luck this weekend.
Yeah, appreciate it. Thank you much.
Thank you.
The Outlaw Truck and Tractor Pulling Association thunders into Cambridge, Illinois for Smokin' on the Prairie. Join us Friday, June 20th at 6 p.m. for 2 tracks of awesome outlaw action. 5 total classes will bring all the noise and power. Cambridge, Illinois, Friday, June 20th. Smokin' on the Prairie.
All right. There's our producer, Kenzie.
Sorry.
Yeah. Brian's a good dude. I've heard his name before, and he said Jeff Moffitt, too. I think he said Moffitt. I remember I've heard that name as well before. But I know the Outlaws are pumped. Logan to be heading into Cambridge. It sounds like it's a heck of a good pull. He mentioned Jerry Runau. Jerry Runau had the ace in the hole. Pro Stalker used to pull against my dad back in the day. East Central Iowa and West Central Illinois. We did some co-sanctioning together, Logan. So that's good. That's good pulling country down there. And that Eastern Iowa, Western Illinois area, a lot of fans. And the Outlaws have a national name. And I think they're going to pick up more fans because a lot of times they got to drive 4 or 5 hours just to see the Outlaws. Mm-hmm. Amanda Stern lives up right on the border. She mentioned that they're only an hour away. They're excited for going. And pulling season's still we're starting to get going. I really feel like July is when it gets nuts after the 4th of July. So they have a chance to pull some fans in from around. There's no Grand Nationals this weekend. Nope. So and then Rumble is Mountain City going on, I think, with PPL.
Yep. Mountain City and
Tampico's going on. Tampico's having that $10,000 hot farm shootout. Scott Typin. They got 25. They're kind of doing like what Simon did, but not at that same level. I think there's a $500 buy-in, $10,000 to win deal. So it's going to be fun. But you can tell Brian knows his stuff, Logan.
Yeah.
And, when a puller is in charge of the pull, life is good. When a fair board member that doesn't know jack shit about pulling's in charge of the pull, it's a piece of shit. I don't care what you say. I've been there. I've done it. I've seen it. And that's why I feel like the best pulls are run by pullers.
And he plays both sides of that, too. He's a puller.
Thank you for having the demo derby on Saturday night, Brian. So all that metal can get picked out before my $15,000 tires go down the track. No, demo derbies are crazy. They get a huge crowd. We used to have them in Richland Center, but we never put them on the pulling track. But at a fair, it's tough. I get it. You just have to do that. So it's fun. But man, Logan, what a show tonight! What a show! Pulling season starting, my man. Pulling season is starting. Kenzie's going to be in Cambridge Friday night. She'll be live streaming on Full Pull Live, and then Donaldson Saturday. So he was talking about this Holganics sweep. Holganics Midwest is probably the biggest sponsor of the Outlaws now, right up there with Case. But they put they put sweet money in it, Logan. So I think Donaldson, Cambridge, and
there's a whole bunch of them.
But these first 3, just some separate money. So if you do really good in these first 3, bang, extra bonus money from Holganics. So that's a good way to get forward.
Inside of a point series.
Yeah. And Brian talked about that a little bit. I'm going to Ardmore, Tennessee. I'll be streaming that down there with Full Pull Live. I'm flying down Thursday night. And then what else? And then you're Norfolk.
No. It's on Friday night.
Norfolk, Nebraska is on Friday night as well. So for those of you that watch the live stream, there's 5 chances for you this week. And don't forget, you can go back and watch. There's replays. Mm-hmm. If you missed one of the Farley sessions, or you missed Cambridge on Saturday, you can go back and watch it. Or if you missed it Friday, you can go back and watch it on Sunday. Or you can watch it 10 times, like Brian's going to do, because he wants to watch his own pool. That's just how it goes. But that's what makes it fun, and I'm really excited to be part of Full Pull Live and what we're doing, and excited to have Kenzie go down there. excited for them. After seeing that lineup, I'm kind of bummed that I said I'd go to Tennessee now. But I think our team needed a weekend off after Farley. That was a freaking grind, Logan. That was Kenzie and I got to work. Like I said, I'm not afraid to call anybody with questions this weekend. Everybody took the weekend off. I'm ringing phones. I want this work. So it's going to be fun. But we did a Mid-South poll. This is Daryl Norman's poll. The what's this? Untouchable two-wheel drive, the coolest two-wheel drive truck in the world. It's like, what is that body style?
Probably I know like a 30 or 40.
It's cool. It looks like an old mop coupe.
Yeah.
From back in the day, like a moonshiner. Mm-hmm. So it's a lot of fun. So I'll be in Ardmore Friday and Saturday, and I think they've all been rained out this year. Logan down south with all their Mid-South pools. So I think this is their first one of the year. So
it's really just getting started.
Yeah, it really is. We're excited. Then I have Toma next weekend. Kenzie, here's the Untouchable. Here's
White Wright, Texas is where I'll be at
for Kenzie and Cody Lee. Here we're going to bring up a picture of Daryl's truck here. This thing is so cool. So
that's
cool.
A sharp truck.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I'm afraid to even touch it. I did because it says the Untouchable. I like to be funny, Logan, or I like to think I'm funny. Dad jokes, right? Yes. Dad jokes. So, we hope you all enjoyed Farley, whether you were there, whether you were on the live stream. Shout out to our friends at Macville, Wisconsin. They moved out to the Allegheny Fairgrounds. Had a huge crowd. Sounds like the track sucked Friday night. They got a bunch of rain Friday afternoon right before the poll, and they had to move the track. But Roger Baum, who was behind Macville, has the money and the stuff to build that into a facility, is what I've been told. I mean, I know Roger personally. I've talked to some people, and they said that's going to be the new home of the Macville Nationals. They're going to do that. RJ already announced his dates for next year. I think June 8th through the 20th. Excited for Cambridge, Illinois. Kenzie will be down there. We'll get some good video. Make them a badass promo video for next year, even though this video is pretty darn good this year. I like it. Oh, decent. Did you make it or Chandler made it? Chandler made it. That's a little bit of an internal joke between the guys in the office, Kenzie and Chandler. So, Logan, where's heading next? You going to get those mini rods fired up soon?
That's where I'm heading off to after this. Go work on the top secret project.
Ooh.
A mod.
You're not going to tell us the top secret? That's why it's a top secret?
Or you just can't hear me.
Top secret project. Y'all will see this weekend.
If you were on Outlawed Live with Ron Stone, he would pimp you until you talked, Logan.
I know.
Yeah, he's like, come on, Logan, just tell me a little bit.
Remove yourself.
They just got to say, I got to go. Mm-hmm. So Kenzie's going to Cambridge, then Donaldson, and then White Wright, Texas.
Then White Wright. And then on the East Coast. Jump on a plane, then go to...
We're doing that Rushville, Indiana, yes. Marion, Ohio, something, and then Dorr, Michigan. So we got 130 or 40 polls on Full Poll Live for y'all.
Wow.
So
yeah,
$40 a month. Can't beat it. $1.33 a day. That's cheaper than cigarettes.
Don't do cigarettes, kids.
But don't do cigarettes, kids. Use your brain. Use your brain on drugs. Brian, hang out with us a second. We're going to bring you back on after the show. Logan, you're going to sign off every night. Say something cool. Oh, hold on. James Harmon. We got some history. The Untouchable used to be from Clarence, Missouri. Collins Brothers. Do you remember that?
No, I'm not that old.
Logan's 17. You're 26.
Yeah.
I'm 49. I remember that. I remember the Collins Brothers. I'm old enough to be your guys' parents.
Yeah, you are.
Oh, nice. Logan, wrap it up, big guy.
Well, there's not many other places where you can see 5 of the 6 big winners from Farley. And I think there's going to be a lot of guys keeping this momentum rolling right into the season. So on that note of big wins and a great weekend ahead of us, I think we need a caller a night, and let's get some more stuff done this weekend.
Yeah, I'm going to go check emails.
As for that, folks, thanks for tuning in for another great night of Let's Grow Pulling. I'm Logan Stevens with Jason Schultz, and that's all, folks.
And Kenzie. Her name's Kenzie.
Yeah, and Kenzie. Can't forget
about
me.
Yeah, you should put your name up there. Why don't you have your name up there? It just says Jason Schultz.
I'll fix it for next week.
Yeah, because we're a co-host.
Yeah, now.
Well, yeah, okay. Whatever.
Today. Let's talk about today.
Grand national and state level, you have to run non-sales, wholesale.
Is like 9,000.
the only mistake I made. I didn't put it in a registration movement.
Just this ever evolving story.